And New Jersey lawmakers and Governor Christie joined up at Newark Penn Station for a call to action this week. They're asking the federal government to honor the commitment of the previous administration to fund half of the Gateway Tunnel project. It would build a new tunnel and revamp the existing tunnels to put an end to the commuter headaches that we've seen this month. Senator Cory Booker was adamant about the importance of the project continuing.
Is the federal government going to meet its obligations to make sure that we don't have continued crisis in this region?
Now, the officials say that they sent a letter to Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao asking her to visit Penn Station and see for herself the condition of the rails. Now, protesters at the event blamed Governor Christie for shutting down the ARC Tunnel project, which would be nearing completion if it had gone the way it was supposed to. Governor Christie defending his decision, though, to discontinue the project to build a rail tunnel connecting New Jersey and New York. He brought up the tunnel project and recent transit issues during his monthly talk show with New Jersey 101.5 and also took a shot at the media.
We don't own or maintain the tracks. We don't own or maintain the infrastructure. We rent it from them. The press in this state isn't happy unless they're bitching.
Tell us what you really think. All right, some are wondering how much pull the governor has with President Trump to make sure the funding stays in place. Now, one New Jersey congressman who joined Governor Christie and Senator Booker this week to stress how vital it is for the Gateway program to move forward is joining us right now. Congressman Donald Payne, Jr., welcome back to the show. It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Thank you.
All right, so let's get to it. Senator Booker said that he was, quote, beyond the point of frustration here with the situation. He made it sound very dire. How worried are you that the Trump administration will follow through on the cuts?
Well, we're very concerned about it, as the senator stated. We're hoping that Governor Christie, who really scuttled this project with the ARC, and I'm not sure if it would be done by now, but we'd be well into it. But we're glad to see that he's finally seen the light and the need for this. We're hoping that with his influence with the president and our advocacy for the project, that we can get it placed back in the budget. We believe, or I feel, that the president should understand how important this would be to New York, since he's a New Yorker, and understand what it would mean to the economy in this region.
Not just in terms of the construction, but in terms of all of the ancillary benefits that would go with the construction, correct?
Absolutely. You know, my district takes in a lot of constituents that use New Jersey Rail as their lifeline, and have really moved to this area because of the proximity of New Jersey Transit to where they live, and then being able to get into New York. And so, you know, I was in a community, Glen Ridge, last week, and it really was the only thing they really was a pressing issue was the delays and the issues around New Jersey Transit.
We've seen numerous track problems, derailments over recent weeks. Do you feel as though we have reached crisis stage here? Do you worry that even if this project does go forward, that we're just going to keep seeing more and more problems like this, and it's going to continue to completely snarl traffic and commuting in the region? Absolutely.
We've seen 3 issues in the last 4 weeks. I was on the platform Newark Penn Station waiting to go to Washington 3 weeks ago when the initial issue of derailment happened in New York. Ran into another member of Congress that had been there on the platform for an hour. So we've seen it firsthand. And then subsequently, you know, we had the other issues at the delays at Penn Station. And just this past Friday, Eric, there was another problem with delays going in to New York. So it is a crisis. If in the last 4 weeks, we've had 3 major issues on that rail line, we are in crisis.
You and some of the officials who you were with over at Newark Penn Station, you were calling for the Transportation Secretary to come and to see the rails for herself. Do you think that'll make a difference? Do you think she'll do it?
We're hoping that she does, and absolutely it would make a difference. You know, just as I stated, I was on the platform when these issues were happening, so I understand it firsthand. So we feel that bringing Secretary Chao here will help us a great deal in having her understand how important and vital these federal dollars would be to correct the issues that have been there for years, because the federal government has really never stepped up and given Amtrak the money that it should get since 1970, when they took over the entire rail line of the Northeast Corridor. So we think her coming here and seeing the issues New Jersey Transit has, I mean, we've lost lives this year. In February, a young woman died in the Hoboken incident. So it's critical, it's important, and we feel bringing her here will give her the idea of why we are so adamant about continuing this project.
All right, so changing tracks, as it were, right now. Next week is going to be what could be another very contentious one on Capitol Hill. The GOP plan to repeal and replace Obamacare. We know what happened with the last version of that. There's talk that a new version, not sure how it's going to be different from the old one, but that a new version could be on the Hill for debate and for possibly a vote this coming week. Speaker Ryan is under a lot of pressure to get this done and through Congress. What are you anticipating seeing?
Well, I've been hearing the same thing, and as you know, over the past several weeks, members of Congress have been back in their district on recess and doing work in the district. I've heard about their proposals. We believe it's even worse than the one that they finally did not propose. This new one will deal with taking out one of the most popular provisions of the Affordable Care Act, is people with pre-existing conditions not being penalized anymore. Well, they're looking to give waivers to states, and then they would allow people, insurance companies, to charge people with pre-existing conditions more. I mean, that is one part of the plan that Americans love, and now they're going to tinker with that, and I mean, it's just setting up for another failure, we believe.
We're going to have to wait and see what happens in the coming week. Congressman Donald M, Jr., a pleasure having you on the show as always.
Thank you for having me.
Good to see you.